said you got a property for, you said the purchase price is 20 grand?
I believe it's like 20,000. I could check actually right now. I could check my spreadsheet. Hold on.
Yeah, because I'm going to need to know what the taxes and insurance are too. Wait, is this land or is this a house?
Excuse me?
Is this land or is this a house?
Oh no, this is a house.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to know the taxes, the insurance. I also need to know what Deal Sniper says it'll rent for.
Got you. Yeah, so the purchase price is 26,000.
26,000. Okay.
And then seller finance is 24,100.
Okay.
And then
What
for
do
the
you
down
got?
payment, it's 1,900.
Yeah.
And then monthly is 650. And then
All
her
right.
counter offer.
Wait, hold on.
See,
I need the taxes and the insurance.
the insurance. Do I have that right now? Or maybe I do. Yeah, I don't have that right now. So I'll probably have to join back later or so, or let you know.
Okay. What about the taxes? Do you have the taxes?
The taxes, I do not. I do not have them.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
have
I
to
gotta
go
have
back
those.
on Deal Sniper.
Yeah, I gotta
Okay,
have those
got
done.
you.
If you get a chance, jump
Okay,
back
so what I'll
on.
do, I'll just
These go until you guys don't have any more questions. So you probably have time. If not, you can always just hit me up after, and I'll just work with you one-on-one. It's fine.
all right, sounds good.
Hey, Sean.
What's up, Tim?
Hey, so yeah, so I have a couple, but the first question I had regarding this property is it was going to be a cash offer, and she was kind of open. I kind of need help comping basically because I don't know if I can go up. I offered her 180, and she was a little hesitant. She said she didn't really want to go lower than 190, but I don't know if I can offer that because the area all has concrete block comps, either new construction or rehab, and it's a wood house. And so I didn't know how I could comp this.
All right, let me ask you this: is it listed or is it off market?
It's off market. It's currently being rented.
Okay. Do me a favor and DM me the address in Discord.
Gotcha.
I don't
Yeah,
want you to post on here because I'm gonna post this video.
I gotcha.
And then what I'll do is I'll look at where the house is, and then I'll comp it based off of where I know where it's at.
Yeah, because I didn't want to. If I can go up, I'd rather keep it a cash offer. Otherwise, I was going to turn it into a creative finance because she is open to that.
What did you get as an ARV?
I guess sub 300. Let me see. I got to go back on what I was looking at. Let's see. Let's see here. So we're around, based on this area, they're selling. So all the concrete block homes are selling for around like 350 to 360. And I came up with 180 because I comped it. I said maybe let me just go a little bit lower, and I went to 300. I think I went to 310, and then I took my offer based on that. But the concrete block homes are going to prefer like 350, 360 around there.
What kind of rehab are we looking at?
I think I estimated like 15 to 20,000. It's light rehab because it's currently being rented. There's not much repairs that have to be done.
Gotcha. And how much you want to make on it?
I think I put around like 10 to 15.
All right. So at 10, I'm at 171. That's assuming your ARV is correct. I haven't got your DM yet, so I don't know. How much what was her bottom? 180?
190. When I offered her 180, she says she might take 190.
You might be better off just going. I mean, I'll look at it, but I'll tell you what. Put it this way: the ARV would have to be, more than that.
Let's see.
345.
Yeah, I just sent it to you.
Is it really 340? Okay. Yeah, the ARV would have to be 340,000 in order for you, assuming the rehab estimate is correct, in order for that to work. So give me a second. Let me take a look at it. This is going to be riveting TV for everybody who's watching. But for those of you that don't understand why I am not putting the address on the screen, Timothy, I'm assuming the deal's not under contract yet, right?
Not yet. Right.
Yeah. So if I put the address on the screen, and someone can literally jump off this call and know what we're offering, and then just snake the deal. Not that I want people to do that or anything, but we don't stand for any Game of Thrones shit here, so we don't do that. Nice house.
Yeah.
Nice house.
So it's still in relatively good condition. The woman I'm talking to is the daughter. She has POA over it because this is her parents' property, but they're sick, and so it sounds like she's kind of liquidating. She's gotten a ton of calls, but she's not dumb in any sense. She kind of knows, but her motivation, at least for right now, is she'd rather have money in her pocket to take care of her parents rather than keeping the portfolio open.
Gotcha. All right, and then just to confirm, because you did speak to them, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,900 square feet.
Yeah, all that's correct.
Okay. I'm seeing an ARV of like 280, maybe 285. So unfortunately, you might want to just go the creative route.
Yeah.
And be honest. Tell her, say, hey, look, I'm sure you get people calling you all day long, every day. Aren't you tired of that? And you have to, and when you say it, like, you have to actually say that. You know what I mean? And aren't you tired of that? And then when she inevitably says yes, say, okay, look, I've got something where I think we can get this property off your hands, and I might even be able to give you more than what you're asking, like significantly more. You just got to keep an open mind. Let me get through it. If you're open to it, great. If not, I won't waste your time and tell you I can do something that I can't. And then go through a seller financing offer with her.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah, because I told her I would get back to her.
I need to know. Do you know what it rents for?
Let's see. Currently, the current tenants are paying $1,775. Around the area is kind of like 18. Maybe she can get 1,800 for it, maybe a little more.
Okay, but you don't know exactly.
Yeah, but we can stick to conservative. I don't think it'll go up to 2,000. Rent in that area is.
All right, let me do this. Hold on, I'm gonna check it out.
But yeah, current rent is $1,775.
And say 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It'll rent for $2,000. Did I just hum the McDonald's song? I must be hungry. $2,000. I haven't had McDonald's in like 15 years. Holy crap. All right, so it'll rent for about $2,000. And now I need to know what the taxes and the insurance are. So the insurance, I'm assuming you don't know that off the top of your head. So what I'll do...
Insurance in this area, because I actually live out here, is, kind of high. Especially for a wooden house, she's going to be quoted higher, I would assume. So probably like for the year, 30, like between 3,000, 3,500 maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that is high. Damn.
Yeah, Florida sucks with these hurricanes.
Yeah, I guess you need it. You need that kind of insurance out there.
Yeah.
All right, and the taxes are $33.59. All right, now everyone else can see what's going on. Okay, so she wants 190. Offer her 210. Oops, what are we doing? No, we're not doing that. Offer her 210,000. You can give her 15. Oops, that's wrong. 205. We'll give her 15,000 at closing. It'll rent for 2,000. Taxes were $33.59. What'd you say the insurance was per year?
Like I'd say 3,500 to be safe.
Okay. And then you could also, now she's getting $1,700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to pitch this in a way that's like, look, I'm not gonna give you $1,700 a month. That's all the profit. for the investor. But I will have the investor take on all the taxes, all the insurance, all the maintenance, all the repairs, all the headaches from having tenants. We'll take on all that and then still pay you monthly, paying down that balance to get that 205. And then you can give them like a 3-year balloon, 4-year balloon on this. That's no problem. You might even be able to go as low as don't go as I wouldn't go as low as 2 unless you absolutely have to save the deal. I would do 3 and above for your balloon. Basically, like, hey, you know, you're going to take, what is it going to be actually? What are we at? 13,000? 5? 750. I'd be comfortable right about there, $750 a month. Now, because of where this is there an HOA?
No.
Okay, good. Whew. Good. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a pretty decent deal for an investor. I think that they would pick this up, especially, is the tenants month to month or are they on a lease?
I didn't get that yet.
So find out. And for those of you that don't understand how this part works, and this is going to seem shitty, and it, you know, sometimes it is, and unfortunately, it's just the nature of the business that we're in. But chances are, if it's on month to month, then when you market this deal, you market it with the value add of a $300 monthly increase after closing for rents. And basically, what you're telling any investors that are looking at the deal, like, hey, they're getting $1,700 a month now, but they're on a month-to-month lease. So the moment you take ownership of the property, you can go up on the rent, which is exactly what an investor is going to do. And they're going to go up to what the market rent is. And then the tenants who are there, because they're on a month-to-month lease, can either sign a new lease with the new rent, or then they can move out in 30 days. Then the owner will put in the $15,000 to $25,000 rehab and then rents it out for probably $2,200, $2,300.
Gotcha.
So I would find that out, because that's going to be something that your potential buyers are going to want to know.
Okay.
If they're on a lease or if they're month to month. But yeah, this is something like what the offer would look like. It's bringing in like $4,500 a month in cash flow to the investor, assuming, I know we kind of estimated on the taxes. I'm sorry, not the taxes, but
insurance.
Yeah. But our threshold is like minimum $300 a month. This was bringing in what, 4,541. That's $376 and some change every single month. So yeah, I think an investor would take this deal.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll write it up and I'll give her a call. Probably in a little bit, like an hour or two.
There you go. And then just let her know, like, look, I want you to be open to this. Hear me out before you just say no. I think this will be beneficial. If it works, great. We can stop the phone calls. We can get this thing off your plate. My investors will take it. They'll cover all the closing costs. We'll get it done. If this doesn't work for you, I'm not going to waste your time and tell you that I can get it done, because unfortunately, at 190,000, I think it would just sit. I don't think it would sell. So, yeah. And I'm just being honest. That'll get you more respect and professionalism than just saying, "Oh yeah, we can do anything," and then failing.
Right. Okay,
cool.
Perfect. Yeah, no, this is great. And then I was wondering if we could kind of quickly go over. I don't think this will work. This is another deal I actually locked up and realized it was too high. I comped wrong. And so I just called her earlier, and she won't take. I tried to renegotiate lower, so she wouldn't take it. But I wanted to see if it was going to, but where we need to be, which is like 200, she doesn't want to take. The mortgage off the 2 loans she has is 191. But when I clarified, she has another loan that's not tied to the property that she wants to cover, and so that's why she wants at least 260. But comps are like 280, so there's no way we're doing that.
Yeah, I can't do 260. Is she open to creative?
Kind of. So she doesn't know too much about it. So I was gonna see if this is possible. I just sent you the address.
You got the taxes and the insurance and the rent for these, or you need me
to yeah, no. So well, you can look it up to confirm, but I think it's about the same, like 2,000 in that area.
Okay, hold on one second. More riveting TV, everybody. Just hold on.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right. We're all here for it. Because if somebody else does this exact same thing, then I'm not going to show their address either. So it's all good. Same
Pretty
size, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah.
This one will rent for $2,200. And the taxes. Oh, it's currently being pushed for rent right now for $2,000 a month.
Yeah. She wants me to get back to her because if we can't make a deal, she's going to put it back on MLS for rent.
Well, hell, it's on there right now.
Yeah. She said she took it off, but I still see it.
Yeah, me too. That's all right. It's all good. Where the hell are your taxes, lady?
It's 3868 is what it was
Thank
last
you.
year.
Damn, could not find that thing to save my life. 3868.
Yeah.
So what if we give her what she's asking, 260,000? How much is that loan she wants to pay off that's not attached to the house?
So she said, I think she said like 50. She didn't give me a finite number on that third loan, but so it's 191 on both properties plus another 50.
Yeah, but she's not getting 50 down. At most, we would give her.
Yeah.
Well, at most, I'd give her 20. I mean, I can give her 25, 26, but I don't think that's going to move the needle at all for her if she needs $50,000 to pay off whatever loan she's talking about.
Yeah.
Give me the, what did you say, 3,800?
Yeah. 3868. And insurance, you could probably estimate like 3,000 for this one.
All right. So what if we did? Gee. Oh, that's tight. Damn, that's tight. Damn. Damn. I mean, it's a nice round number. Like, hey, you can either fiddle with your tenants, taxes, insurance, maintenance, phone calls, property managers for maybe $2,000 a month if someone rents it out, or you can let my investor take it off your hand. I'll give you $1,000 a month, and I'll take care of all that crap, and then I can get you paid off in like 4 years. You can do that, but the cash flow, the actual cash flow, is fine. I mean, it's right there for just being below okay. I think that's enough. But at the same time, I want the deal to be as attractive as possible so that they move quickly. 850 would be better.
Okay. I mean, maybe there's a chance.
850 would be better. You can chance it at 1,000 if that's what it takes to close the deal. But I would also be honest and set the proper expectation. Look, Mr. Seller, I'm going to do my best to get you this $1,000 a month at this deal that we've laid out. But I'm telling you right now, that is like, we have no wiggle room for my investors. We are at the bottom of the barrel of what they will accept. So if one of them brings me an offer with everything that we talked about, but instead of 1,000, it's like $900 a month. You want me to tell them to kick rocks, or are you willing to take it?
Mm.
That's the conversation I would have with them before you get that contract signed.
Okay.
If it's at $1,000. I mean, in all honesty, you can get that. You can literally have that conversation with every client, even if the deal is phenomenal, just to set the proper expectation, because wholesaling isn't always a done deal. A lead doesn't turn into a contract, and a contract doesn't turn into a paycheck.
Yeah.
Not always. So that's what I would do.
Okay. No, this is good. So even with, well, remember this was. Did you sell it? This would be a hybrid, wouldn't it? Because there was that mortgage.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
was focused on the one that's not attached to the house. Okay, so
I
total
just
mortgage
realized.
balance is 191,000. You said.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, what's the monthly mortgage payment?
Change that balance again.
Huh?
Look
Oh,
at the
shit.
balance.
Maybe I am hungry. I don't. It's only 5 o'clock. All right, what's the monthly mortgage payment?
That was 1 second.
Now I know she has two, so just give them to me combined.
Okay. Let's see, payment. Yeah, there's no way. So PropStream is showing me it's 878 for one, sorry, and 1114 for the other.
Oh yeah, that's not going to work. It only runs for 2,200.
Yeah, so that's already capped.
Yeah, it's hybrids are difficult for that exact reason, because we're asking our investor to pay the mortgage payment and pay the seller finance amount, and then just be okay with the cash flow that's left over. And a lot of times when they're paying both, there's not that much left over.
Yeah, I ran another hybrid in Ocala, and I got to call the dude back later. That one I ran the numbers and it actually does work. I was just curious, but yeah, just looking at that, there's no way this works.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
You know. All right, I'll let her know. Thank you. That's I think that's all the help I needed for these two. That's what I have in the pipeline right now. So appreciate
No problem. Let me know when the next one's coming up.
Sounds good. Thanks.
No problem.
Sean?
Darren, what's up? Oh, hold on one second.
This-
Wait, what's up, Marquise?
Yeah, yep. I had a question about the 5% interest rate. He just sent over the address for it, so he
5%
hasn't sent like the monthly payment or anything like that yet.
No, I need all that. I need all the numbers before I can underwrite it. I need to know because it's for the mortgage, right?
Yeah, it's a subject to deal for sure.
Yeah, so I need to know the mortgage balance, the monthly payment for the mortgage, and the interest rate, and then I can underwrite the deal.
Okay.
Darren, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Not much. You enjoy how did you wait a minute? Can I say that? Are you okay with that, or you want me to keep that like hush hush?
Yeah, keep it on hush. But
Yeah.
I
All right.
got a question. Can I
Go
see
for it.
your pipeline on Go High Level or no?
Can you see my pipeline on Go High Level?
Yeah.
What do you mean by my
Weird.
pipeline? Which one?
Your one for off market.
Like the one? Oh,
I
for
got you.
the ones that from the VAs.
Yeah, because I feel like I got too many. Like I got like 20, not 20, but like 15 sections, not sections, but what they call it.
Columns?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like,
Hold on. That sounds a little that sounds light, actually. Hold on one second. Now, obviously, I can't put it on the screen right now, but I will look at it and count and tell you exactly how many my CRM has. But I can tell you right now, 15 is either right there or you might be a couple shy. Hold up. Let me check. Let's check this one. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I have 19.
Yeah, I was going to say 15 seems a little light. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got 20.
oh shit. What am I missing?
You're probably missing. I've added a couple for anyone that's got a CRM and maybe don't know how to organize it. Think of it like, and I can't believe anyone who knows me would laugh their ass off with this analogy because I don't do sports unless it's fighting. But think of it like a football field. All you're doing is moving the lead down the line to its next step. So new lead, right? And then right next to that, I have no answer. I want to know right off the bat, they're not answering the phone because that's who I'm going to call first the next day. Then I have trying to get a hold of, but people that I've already talked to. So I've talked to you. We maybe built some rapport. We scheduled an appointment. For today, you didn't answer. Now I'm trying to get you back on the phone. That's the second list I'm going to go through every day. Then I have call today. Anyone that says, yep, call me on, Tuesday. I've got that in that column. Then I've got cold lead, warm lead, hot lead. I've got currently underwriting, currently negotiating, every step of the contract, sent, signed, returned. And then after that, it's all the disposition side. And then at the very end, I've got follow-up long-term. Follow up in a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 3 months from now, next year.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've got a few custom ones.
I figured out what I was missing. I don't got no cold lead, hot lead. I just got new lead. That's it.
Oh, you know what? Why don't let's do a meeting. I can't do it tonight, but I might be able to do it tomorrow. Just hit me up. You can share your screen or I'll share mine and I'll help you set up your CRM.
I really want to show you like the cool stuff I got going on right now. It's so cool.
All right, bet. Yeah, just DM me. We'll jump on. I'll help you guys. I love when people show off. I like when people win. Like, how people watch the ultimate fail compilations? I don't watch that. I watch the ultimate win. Or like luckiest people in the world on YouTube. I love that shit. Just win. There's enough for everybody to win. Ricardo, what's up, man? What can I do for you?
Hey Sean, how's it going? I'm new to the Discord. First and foremost, just want to say, I love what you got going on.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir. So I sent out about like 50 emails, and I actually got one back from a realtor.
Hell yeah.
And so she said her response was they need a larger down payment. The monthly is much larger than the rents, and she wants a 5-year balloon. And so I was trying to do the numbers in the deal machine. I know because the price is actually more than 375, but I'm gonna have to let her know that the minimum we could do is like a 12 to 15-year balloon, which I'm sure she may feel a certain way, but
you could go a little shorter than that. You could probably get away with 7 on that one.
oh, the house is. Let me give you the stats real quick. The house is purchase price is 675.
Oh shit! I thought you said 375.
No. I know. I was telling you that I know per your videos, you were basically saying if the house is 375, you could do like a 7-year minimum.
Yeah. You're good.
But I know being that the house is this much, it's gonna be at least what 12-year minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
670. Yeah. You're gonna have to do like 12 years.
So I was wondering if I could give you the stats. If we could, it's pretty easy, I think, but I just want to make sure I'm doing it correct.
Sure.
She did tell me that the house has no mortgage, which is great. And so the purchase price is $675, and the seller finance amount is $628. Estimated rent is about $3,300.
Would you give him as a down payment?
Per Deal Sniper, I gave him $1,400.
As a down payment?
I'm sorry, as a monthly payment. My bad. Down payment, I said $47,000.
Okay. And what are the taxes and the insurance?
So the taxes are there's an HOA, but the taxes are for the year about $8,400.
Damn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What are these? What's the insurance? Oh my God.
Insurance per year is about $2,500.
All right.
And if you want the HOA, that's $1,200.
Okay. That's only $100 a month. That's not bad. Whew. Yeah, that doesn't cash flow. Not at 1,400. And I think it's definitely the taxes, but it's the HOA. It's pretty close though. You could probably do that's 12. Yeah, you can do 1,200. Now, 1,200, that would be fantastic. So they said they wanted more of a down payment.
Yeah, so she said larger. So real quick, like before I respond to her, asking her like if there was a mortgage and what have you, I saw your video, but it was kind of too late. I guess the appropriate response would have been like, all right, what kind of numbers is your buyer looking for?
Yeah.
But in any case, I'm gonna circle back, but I just kind of want to find out what kind of numbers I can give in case once she does ask. Crap.
Was there any issue with the monthly payment at all? Their only was the down payment.
So she said she wanted a larger down payment, and she said basically her quote was, "The monthly is much lower than the rent." Which I'm like, okay, like I didn't know.
Well, does she know that you're wholesaling it?
No, we haven't got to that conversation.
Okay. All right, so let me help you interpret a little bit. And if anyone else has any insight or is a realtor, please let me know if I'm wrong or correct me. Jump in with any feedback. Basically, what they're saying is, yes, they want a higher down payment. That's fine. That's typical. But what they're saying with the monthly payment is they're saying your monthly payment that you're offering is much lower than what we could get for rent. And that's what led me to ask, did you tell them that you're a wholesaler? So what I would do is go to the Discord, go into the cheat sheet, and I really believe if you guys haven't done this, you should all do it. Go to the cheat sheet and look up the why 0% answer. That is a great base for you guys to inject your own personality, lingo, whatever, or don't change it at all. It's up to you. But that's a great way to explain why you offered what you offered. Basically, it outlines what the investor is going to do with the property. And it also tells them enough for them to understand that you're not the end buyer and that you're going to be wholesaling the deal to one of your investors. So now instead of throwing someone numbers, there was a study done at Cambridge University at like 2016, something like that. And it basically said that subconsciously, if you tell somebody something and then say the word because, and then give an answer that makes some sort of sense logically, whether they agree with it or not, whether they understand it completely or not, but just by saying because and then filling in an answer that makes sense, they're 75% more likely to agree with what you're saying and then move forward. So in your situation, I would take that answer from the Discord and in your own words, basically say, look, I represent about 7 or 8 investors that I've been working with for years. They're going to cash flow this property. They're going to put a tenant in there. They're going to rent it out. That's why they're okay with giving you more money than you were asking on a property that's been having a hard time selling on market, because they're not going to sell it. They don't really care what they buy it for. They only care about if they can cash flow. If they can cash flow, you can consider this property gone. With the terms that you're asking for, they can't cash flow. If they can't cash flow, there's no incentive for them to buy it, and I don't want to waste my time or yours. So if we can come up with terms that will help your clients out and that will still allow my investors to cash flow, I think we've got a done deal. Are you open to having that discussion?
Okay. Now,
Just,
should I
I would
also
say something like that? Yeah.
should I also include the balloon, or just basically say that and then wait for her to respond and then tell her like, hey, by the way, like the lowest we can do as far as the balloon is 12 years?
That depends on you and your style. Some people would want to hook someone in who's on the fence and give them more of the positive aspects just so you can get your point across. You know what I mean? Like you're telling them just enough so they'll keep listening to see the full picture. And then at the end, you can say, by the way, I saved this to the end so that you can get all the positives. The one negative to this whole thing that you asked for is your balloon. My investors, I mean, for this, they're looking at like 7 to 10 years, not 5. That's the only caveat. Everything else is negotiable, but we need to do a 7 to 10 year balloon. Or we can do, you can do an appraisal clause in the contract. And basically what that says is, okay, so they want a 5-year balloon. Let's say we want a 10-year balloon. So all we put in the contract is if the property does not appraise for 40% equity appreciation, however you want to word it, if the property doesn't appraise for what we needed to appraise for by the time the balloon hits, then we're going to extend the balloon another year up to 5 years. So basically what that means is best case scenario, you get paid off in 5 years, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. We'll pay you off in 5 years, but only if the property appraises so that we can refinance it to pay you off. If it doesn't, then we need to push this back a year, and we'll push it back until it does, or 5 years. And no matter what, at that time, we have to pay you. You can do that.
Okay. So if I was to say like appraisal clause, the realtor should know exactly what it is.
Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
If she or he already knew about creative financing and had an idea of what it was, then they'll probably know what an appraisal clause is. If they don't know what creative financing is, or you really have to break it down to them, then chances are they've never heard that term because they've never really done a creative deal that included it.
No, yeah, I'm not sure she is like really vast like in the actual space, but she did respond initially saying like, yeah, my seller is open to a creative seller option. So,
how confident are you that you can deliver information with confidence, like super nonchalant, like it's no big deal?
Man, I mean, I've gone through like at least like 85% of your videos in the 101, and it's starting to make a lot more sense now. Can I actually verbalize that? I can get my point across, but it might not sound as confident as you.
Okay,
right?
so then here's what I want you to do. The only way you're going to be able to get to that point is to do it. So I'm going to make you uncomfortable, and trust me, it'll help you. When you talk to this real estate agent and you have that conversation with her, then yeah, use the term appraisal clause. And I want you to say it just like this. I want you to say, hey, and you know what? As far as the balloon is concerned, we're going to have to do a little bit of give and take on that. But I think if we throw an appraisal clause in there, we'll be good to go. And she's either going to know what the appraisal clause is and say, oh, okay, that's great. Or she's not. and then you're going to have to explain it to her. And that's where the confidence comes in. Because if
Got it.
you don't sound sure of what you're saying, there's no way they're going to be sure of what you're saying.
That makes sense.
But I say that the only way you're going to get good at it is to do it. Because here's the great thing, Ricardo. Let's say you call this realtor, right? You're negotiating. Everything seems good. You do what I just told you to do, and you bomb it. And the chick never calls you again, and you lost that deal. There are so many properties listed right now. It's basically unlimited. Go try again. You have nothing to lose by trying to get better. Nothing.
Right. Makes sense.
You guys can literally call 1,000 real estate agents in one market, hone your skill, get your teeth kicked in, maybe piss some people off, whatever. But the bottom line is that after all those calls to realtors, you'll sound just like me, probably better. And then you just switch to another market to real estate agents who've never heard of you. But now you sound polished, professional, like you've been doing this for years, and that translates into more deals closed.
But out of curiosity, thanks for that. Out of curiosity, do I have a little wiggle room to actually give a larger down payment, or should I?
Oh, yeah. You can go up
need
to
10%, right? 670, 67?
Well, yeah, but that's going to affect your cash on cash return. So let's take a look at it. So right now at $1,200 a month, we're at a 10% cash on cash return, 10.3, but it's 10%. And we're at a 10% entry fee. This is ideal. This part isn't, but your cash flow is, so it's okay. This is a little deceiving because your cash flow is actually really good. That the taxes, damn. But anyway, your deal looks good. So let's see what it looks like if we go up. So you can go up to $67,000 as a down payment, right?
Right.
You want to do the whole thing? We can do 67,500. Yep. Okay. So now, what is it? 67.5?
Yeah, 67.
607.5. Is that right? That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so now let's take a look at it. Now this went up to 13%, which still isn't that bad. It's really not. I mean, essentially, you're telling an investor, hey, you can buy this $685,000 house. Just give me $90,000 at closing. That's including closing costs. Because I don't know if I want to tell you guys that part yet. So this part doesn't look that bad, but look at this here. So with this amount of money down, basically what the calculator is saying is that the same investor can take that amount of money and put it into something like a T-bill and make more than that. And subsequently make more than that. So an investor wouldn't see that as a good deal because their return on their money is too low. They can, without having to worry about HOAs, taxes, tenants, insurance, maintenance, they can take that same $91,200, put it into a bank, get a T-bill, and they'll get a guaranteed 8% without having to worry about any of that shit. That's why the cash on cash return has to be high enough and also matching the cash flow.
Yeah, the minimum 10%, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So in order to compensate, you probably have to drop this down to like a G.
Okay. I got a real quick question, and then I think I'm good. So with the commission, I know the seller, they basically have like typically 3% that they'll charge the agent, right? And I think with the new email that you have structured in Deal Sniper, I see that you have in parentheses in the email includes commission. Is that includes commission to the agent?
To the agent, yes.
Okay. And then
so basically what that's saying is we're saying that, let's say we, you see how my calculator has realtor commission as an added box to use?
Yep, that was my second question.
What the letter is saying is that, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, this offer that I'm sending you with this $67,500 down payment, your commission comes out of that.
Okay.
That's what we're saying. Now, I am at odds with other people who make decisions on what Deal Sniper looks like. So if they see this video, they ain't gonna like it, but that's all right. It's just my opinion. You guys can do whatever you want. In my opinion, I think that shuts the deal down, the conversation about the deal before it starts. I want to say maybe 60% of the deals that I help people underwrite have the agent or us paying the realtor commission using this box here. And the seller just gets their money at this part of the pitch. Hey, tell your client, not only will I help cover your commission, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, if need be, but we're also going to cover all the closing costs. So when I say that they're going to get $67,500 at closing, that's what they're going to walk away with. That's part of the spiel, in my opinion. And so for the 40% that don't ask, well then, cool, they didn't ask anyway, so you don't have to have that conversation. But for the 60% that do ask, what about my commission? That's when you can go into, hey, I got no problem adding your commission to the deal or having my buyer take care of it. We can cover up to this. I'm willing to work with you. I can either cover it on the buyer's side. If your seller is already willing to pay your commission out of that down payment, then, and you want to double end the deal, which basically means you're going to make commission as the seller's agent and the buyer's agent. So you get both commissions. I'm totally okay with that, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. Our buyers will pay up to 3%. If your seller doesn't want to take such a large chunk of their money, their down payment at closing, to pay your commission, well, then we'll help them pay that commission on our end. We're willing to take care of you. You just got to let us know how you want us to work it. We're all a team, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. See, for me, that's a much better conversation that can start to build a relationship with a real estate agent, which is what you guys want to do. I've said it before. I'll always say it. You get a good, honest wholesaler with some good, honest real estate agents as a team, 2 or 3 real estate agents, the money's unlimited. And you need to start building those relationships. And this is how you start, by having these conversations, especially with real estate agents who don't exactly understand. Because what happens, I'll give you a scenario, right? You do a transaction with a real estate agent. One, they didn't understand creative financing 100%. Like, they vaguely knew what it was, but you educated them. That's the bottom line. Then on top of that, you did what you said you were going to do. You got the deal under contract, you found a buyer, you got it sold, and on top of that, they got their commission. No issues, no problem. What are they going to do when they talk about their closing at their realtor meeting every single Monday morning that they have? They all do it once a week. They have a meeting, talk about their closings, their listings, everything. What are they going to say? I worked with this one wholesaler doing this creative financing deal, and it went through flawless. Then all the other realtors are going to say, well, what's that person's name? I've got deals that I think that they could move. Hell, that happened today. I got a DM from someone talking with a real estate. Marquise, wasn't that you? Didn't you get sent a deal?
Yep, that
Off
was my
market from a
question.
realtor?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was my question. I got the numbers now. I was waiting till you finish.
All right, I'm almost done ranting. I do this a lot. We switched. So yeah, that's the goal. That's what you want to do. What did I tell you, Marquise? That's how it starts. That's how you build your empire. You do what you say you're going to do. You prove that you are someone worthy to work with. You're polished. You're professional. You know what you're talking about. You get stuff done. Deals will just come to you. People will be fighting to work with you. So yeah, I don't know how I got on that subject, but do that.
So that realtor commission box at the bottom of seller finance, is that for the buyer's commission? If the buyer has,
Yeah,
what's that box for?
All right, so yeah, I guess that's where the rant came from. So let's say for this deal, they agreed to it. They're like, okay, we'll take the $67,000 down. We'll take the $1,000 a month, because if I remember correctly, it's like 15%, so that works. No, 10%. Okay, so this deal works, right?
Right.
So much like when we increased the down payment, let's take a look. We're at 13.31 and we're at 10.48. So now let's say this agent says, okay, cool, we'll take the deal, but I want my commission also. And we want you to pay it, or your buyer to pay it. Well, first thing is, how much are you charging? So let's say it's the max. Let's say it's 3%. What's 3% of six? It's what, $20,000? $20,020? So once we put that in, now we're telling the buyer, you have to pay this too. And as you can see, There it is. So now your entry fee is 16%. That's high. And look at your cash on cash return. It dropped. So now in order to make that work, you got to drop this again. That's probably too much. Oh no, I guess not. 850. There you go. So now you're at 850 a month.
Okay. All right.
Now there are pros and cons to doing that, because now you're looking at it like, damn, that entry fee is pretty high, right? Like your percentage is up there, but you're also bringing in $11,360 in monthly cash flow to that, or I'm sorry, in yearly cash flow to that investor, which breaks down to like $945 a month. So while this is high, I'm not going to lie, this is high. We usually like to keep it below 15%. Ideally, as close to 10 as possible. If you can get it under 10, well, that deal's gone. But this, even though this is a little high, it's still bringing in decent money. And every single year, this will go up, because every year the rent will go up. So even in the very next year, after someone owns it, even if it goes up $100, now look at your cash on cash return. Now look at your cash flow. So it's just going to keep going up. So it's still a decent deal. Basically, my point was, don't let that scare you.
All right.
Be mindful of it though, but don't let it scare you.
All right. Perfect. Appreciate it.
No problem. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
All right, Sean. He sent me over the loan amount, but he said he doesn't know the monthly payment.
Oh, we can't underwrite the deal without the monthly payment, because we can't figure out the cash on cash return. We need the monthly payment. We need to know how much it costs to own the property, and then compare it to how much the property will make the person who owns it. That's the only way we can determine if it's a good deal or not.
Okay, so that's how I should say it, Tony. To get the
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Text me the address, and I'll look it up on Batch Leads after the training, and I'll just text it to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Let me check the chat. Let me see if anyone has any questions. I'm at work just listening. Oh, yeah, no worries. Okay. Does anyone else have a question or a deal they'd like to go over, or just a general question about wholesaling?
Did you already go through the questions you got in your messages?
Did I go through the what?
Like the DMs you got. Did you already like go through them and like answer them already?
I'm pretty sure I did. I answered.
Oh
you
no,
too.
I was just asking that because I just joined back, so I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I answered you too.
Oh damn.
Like at 2:20.
No, I wasn't just talking about specifically me, but like just anybody else. Maybe I might learn something.
Man, I answer all my questions.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, then I will let you guys go for the night. This recording will be up tomorrow at 8 a.m. Also, there is a video being posted. There was one posted with Darren. Darren, congratulations. I'll keep it hush, but I did post the video. And then there's another interview that I did with a guy named William, who has already closed 6 or 7 deals using Deal Sniper in 2 months. And that video will be live in like, I think, 45 minutes. So for anyone who's new and is like, can I do this? Is it hard? Watch the channel, watch the playlist, watch the videos, and then jump in the Discord. I'll help you. I don't gatekeep anything. I will help you guys. And then for those of you that are new, one-on-ones are free. I do not charge for those. This isn't that kind of Discord. So if you need help, let me know. Otherwise, join the lives. They're every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Central, and every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Central. Oh, shit. What's up, Amber? Sorry, Mom.
Hey, okay, so I love when you say motivational things, because yes, it gets me going. But as you know, and this is just full transparency, I think I'm going on like maybe 3 months, and kind of like I talk a little bit. That's kind of how I work, and I realize it's not working in my favor. So even though I may have something that seems concrete or solid, it doesn't go the way that I'm hoping it goes.
Mhm.
And it's not that I've lost hope yet, but I feel like it's something that I am either missing or that I am doing wrong, or it could just be that I need to pivot from my market. So my question to you is, excuse me, when it comes to dispo, do
Mhm.
you receive a lot of Dallas Fort Worth deals or not really? Because there's a lot of property, there's a lot of listings, but I haven't snagged one yet.
Yeah, yeah, we do. Here's the issue with Texas in general. And I was born there, so don't come at me for talking ish. Here's the thing with Texas. People in Texas have a certain attitude, and that attitude is we're going to do it however the hell we want to do it, and if you don't like it, tough. And the reason why I say that is 99% of the screenshots I get from Texas deals all mention the Trek contract. Now, if you're not a real estate agent in Texas, you don't have access to that contract. And while in most other, and I say most, I mean, I'm not trying to talk ish, but most of the other ones that I've told people use this answer, it has worked. And in Texas, it seems like it doesn't. And it's because it's going against the grain, so to speak. They know the Trek contract. They want to use the Trek contract. And if you're not going to use it, well, tough. That's just how it is. Now, what I would suggest to combat that, because I'm not saying give up on Texas completely, not by any means. What I'm saying is, if you're noticing that that's a hurdle that keeps coming up, you might want to pivot a little bit to how you're doing things. Now, the only issue I'm having with you, Amber, is I think you actually do what I'm about to suggest, which would be calling them on the phone first. You do that, don't you?
I do.
That's what I thought. Okay, so are you comfortable breaking it down right now and going through what you've been doing on this live, or do you want to just do it one-on-one?
A one-on-one.
Okay. So what we'll do then is we will break down, we'll go through the last 3 months. We'll look at the offers that you sent out. We'll look at where they were. We'll look at what they said. We'll look at the responses you've been getting. And any way that I can direct you, I'll direct you. And we'll get it done. The easiest answer though, because I don't know what your schedule is and what my schedule is. Shift out of Texas. That's the easiest.
Okay.
Shift out of Texas.
Okay.
Because
I mean,
because I'm confused. Because wait a minute, because I've heard you on the phone talking to people. So where do you lose them? Do you mind if I
don't know. I wish I knew.
Well, what do you consistently get up to? So you call them on the phone, right? You ask them if they're interested. If they say yes, you send them the email, right? And
well,
then
I'll say this:
what?
they'll. It's not that they'll say yes or no. They'll say, well, we haven't really talked about that yet, so they haven't really visited seller finance. Okay, so boom, that's my, go ahead, send me the offer and I'll run through it. Okay, so I'm sending the offer, and then by now, we're either still on the phone from the initial call, so we can look at it together, or they'll review it and then text me and say, oh yeah, well, we're just, they need all of the money up front, which I of course know that I'm going to run into that a lot. But my thing is that once I kind of get them to the next thing or terms, I guess, I don't know if I lose them, if I'm not explaining enough, if I'm explaining too much, I don't know. And it's about to make me blow a blood vessel, man.
Well, don't do that.
I mean,
deals if you do that.
That's true. That's true. I need to be coherent. I need to be here. So yeah, I just, I don't know. And then a lot of times I'll get deals where Of course, it's either hybrid or sub two.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, everything sounds good, but on paper, it's like,
It doesn't cash
damn
flow.
it doesn't cash flow. And then I think it makes me look bad. And then I'm just like, crap, I didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Well, that doesn't. No. That doesn't make you look bad. You don't determine, and by you I mean everyone. You guys, we don't determine what properties mortgages are, what areas will rent for. We don't determine any of that, and because we can't determine that, if the deal doesn't cash flow, that's not on us. It's not on the seller. It's not on the realtor. It just doesn't cash flow right now. Maybe in a couple of years it will, but right now it won't. So okay, so you're either getting people who aren't interested, or you're getting people who are interested, but the deal doesn't cash flow.
I would say, yeah, 7 out of 10. That's it.
I mean,
But
I got a
I'm-
bold strategy depending on how ballsy you are.
Go ahead.
You can always, and this will only work when the real estate agent doesn't understand completely the offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I have done in the past, I haven't done it in a while, but when I did do it, it worked. I stopped needing to do it. Offer to get on a 3-way call with the realtor and the seller. So, and you don't need the seller's phone number, because a lot of agents would be, I'm not giving you my seller. I don't need, first of all, Mr. Real Estate Agent, I can skip trace your seller's phone number if I really wanted to. I'm not
If
trying
I
to do
wanted
that.
to.
You call your seller, get them on the phone, then 3-way me in. Done. And I will explain it to all of you. I will answer all of your questions at once, and we can see if we can move forward. How about that, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor? And try it that way. Because part of what we do, a lot of times a real estate agent will have that conversation with their seller before the property goes on market. Hey, you're going to get creative offers. You're going to get this kind of offer, this kind of offer. Are you open to any of those, or do you want just cash? And the seller's the one who says, nope, I don't want any of that. I just want cash. So I see a lot of complaints in the Discord where people say the real estate agent answered me so fast, there's no way they talked to the seller. Well, they did. They just talked to the seller a while ago, and they've already had that discussion. So I would offer to do that, because while they can have that conversation, sometimes once a real estate agent realizes you're a wholesaler, they just don't. You could offer them gold, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they've been burned by another wholesaler before. You know what I mean? But if you can get on the phone with them and the seller and explain what you're doing, how it works, and why you're doing it, that goes back to that because thing. I don't know if you were on here for that part, but tell them, give them the why 0% answer, what your investor's planning on doing, how it works, explain to them the deed in lieu as their protection.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might have a higher conversion rate for maybe real estate agents just ghosting you without even ever talking to the seller.
Okay. So that 101, when are you available for that?
We can do it tomorrow afternoon before, in between, that's not 2 and 3 o'clock. Just DM
2
me.
and 3 o'clock. Central or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, will do. Thank you.
No
Hey,
problem.
sure, can I add on top of that?
Of course you can. That's what this is for.
Yeah, so especially like you got to show up every day. Like I understand, like it's been like 3 months, but in my experience, I feel like deals happen when you least expect it. Like it's on a random Tuesday, 6 p.m. and you get a deal. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's like you got to spend your time on the market where you're wanted at. So I say about 60% of people on market, they don't want to do creative deals. You got to go to that 40% on where they kind of have to do creative, and if they don't, well, no, they're shorting themselves out. Go stay on the market. So I'll say like when it comes to you also need to pick the right market. I feel like Texas might not, well, Texas worked for me, but I feel like Texas is not for everybody if you don't pick the right place. So Dallas is good, but I would suggest in the keywords, look up motivated seller or whatever you're looking for. If you're looking to offer cash on market, then look up investors or this stuff like that. Keywords that you're talking to sellers that need your help. Half of the time, if you're just putting on 90 days Yeah, they've been on market for a while, but they're usually stubborn and still want that only cash offer. So yeah, I say if you just keep going every day, you're going to get a deal. And Deal Sniper definitely works.
Can I ask you something, Darren?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that just using Amber's current routine, right? Of calling the people first. What you're saying is right before you do that, target it a little bit more by keyword searching certain things, and then maybe calling them and say, "Hey, saw your listing. Here's
Yeah.
what I'm offering. Are you open to it?"
Yeah, so I'm kind of giving y'all the sauce. Like if you go on Redfin, right, and you go through like keywords, you type in seller finance,
Hmm.
it will show up all the houses that's in the description open to creative financing. And then you can call, because look, those listings are open to creative financing, and they're now all your job is to negotiate the terms and see if you can fit their criteria. And usually you probably can.
So wait a
And
minute, Darren. Are you saying no filter and you just use the keyword search, or are you still using filter?
So I'll go house type, houses, and multifamily.
Okay.
I'll scroll all the way down.
Yep.
And so that keywords, I'll put seller finance.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's 12 homes that are open to seller finance. Or what I'll usually do, I'll just call every single house. Like if you click on that house and then you go to the description, it's either might say open to seller see, look, seller financing opportunities possible. And then I'll call them and be like, hey, so I did see on your listing, y'all are open to seller finance. What type of terms are you looking to get out of this? And then
What type of terms? So you ask them directly, and then you cater what you're doing to that.
Yeah, and then if they would be like, hey, we're looking to get about 20% down, 8% interest, I'd be like, okay, I understand that. Just to be transparent with you, I won't be able to do that interest on the monthly payment because I am looking to assign this. We would have to consider that in the purchase price. So and then that's when the negotiating starts, and that's how I get my deal. That's usually how it goes for me.
Darren,
I like
you're the real
that.
one for that, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And you
Hey,
can do that.
Darren,
ahead,
I got a question real quick. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate just because that's the part of me that's in control right now. What do you do about this part when there's only 10 or 12?
That's unfortunate, but then I'll go to the seller, the keywords again, type in motivated seller or quick sale or yeah. So I'm just looking, I'm going to where I'm mostly wanted. I'm not going to just sit there
try to
and
see where it fits. Man,
yeah.
hey man,
That's
thank you.
awesome. I like that.
Thank you. Hey, Sean, this
What's
is
up?
kind of it's of course it's on the same topic because it's whatever is my question, but so this is what I was thinking, and I took note. This was just yesterday. I was going to call later today or tomorrow, but anyway, I guess kind of filtered what I find, and like if I'm using batch leads, you can look at the map, you can drive for dollars, whatever. But one of their features, it shows you the most recent closings. And I haven't done this yet, so this is fair game for anybody, or just let me know. Let's say the property is listed for 370. Okay, 370. But they've actually sold it for like 420. Is that not telling me that was a seller finance situation? So I could reach out to. Come on now. Okay, so
and you know what that is? So you're
what
talking about building your buyers list.
Yep.
There you go. Yep. Oh, I love this community. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I don't usually come up with that. That's when AI comes in. I'll be like, hey, what's some keywords I can type into Redfin that might be open to creator financing or might be open to working with wholesalers? And then they just give me a whole list, and I'll just go when I'm bored, and I just call them while I'm on the game or something.
You know what? I love the fact that, because Darren, you did not have to volunteer that information. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I use AI every day.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to volunteer that information. But you're such an honest dude. You're like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and just put this out there. this was AI's idea.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, and I want to call it out because here's why. I've been doing this for so long. I have seen so many snakes and people who gatekeep and people who just do some real. That's why I have that term. I don't do no Game of Thrones shit in my Discord. I don't play that game. So I really appreciate the fact that not only are you willing to share that information and educate everyone, but then you're even willing to tell the source of where you got it from so that someone else may have the same idea and search up something else. So good for you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to add about the AI thing. So I pay the plus for ChatGPT, and I always tell it to give me either a sample script, and sometimes I'll go back and forth and say, be a combative seller, and give me scenarios that I can play out prior to me calling so that I'm prepared. Because I know somebody in here, I forget who it was, but if you're like not confident, like Sean, you were saying about talking about the whatever clause that was, replay a scenario and just have AI do that for you so that you understand, oh, what are some of the things they might say? How can I combat that so that you're prepared?
You know, it's so funny that you say that because one of us does that nightly. So what we'll do is we'll put on, because ChatGPT has the talk function now where you can just put
Yeah.
on a headset and talk to it.
Right.
So you can actually, I guess you can call it technically talking to yourself, but not because you're talking to a computer.
Yeah.
But you can actually give it instructions so that you can practice and then have it critique how you did and then give you suggestions on what to change.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, that's good.
Then you take that same information once you've got it all dialed in and you have ChatGPT's blessing, and then you go call 100 real estate agents with the intention of trying to get your teeth kicked in. So
Yes.
that the next 1,000 real estate agents you call, you sound super polished and professional.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's good.
Yeah, great move. I love that.
I had a question, Sean,
What's
just
up?
real fast, going back to, because I'm about to call those sellers and pitch the offers we talked about. But on the inputs page, I just want to know the why this is. So on the inputs page, your seller finance, you have a purchase price there. So I put 210, seller finance amount is 205, and then when you go to the seller finance tab, the purchase price is different.
Oh, it's because of the assignment fee.
Oh, it's adding that in?
Yeah.
I thought that adds into the entry fee.
Well, yeah, but it adds to the purchase price too. You got to remember. So think about it. If you have a house under contract for $100,000, and then with a $10,000 down payment, and you want to make 10 grand, you've got to sell that thing for $110,000 with a $20,000 down payment.
Okay.
Otherwise, where's your assignment fee coming from? Because
Right.
if they don't pay you, then they owe the seller money and vice versa. So
Right.
yeah,
Purchase price total, seller finance is just minus the fees.
yeah. See, if you take a look at the seller financing purchase price, inputs 6 and 14, that's this one and this one.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Makes
Cool.
sense. That's it. Yep.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? All right.
Oh,
Cool. What's up?
also, you can do the keywords, but don't like that whole 90 days. It still works, but I feel like you find better deals with the 90 days. But if you want to deal fast, that's how I got my first one, was with doing that, looking up seller financing and all the real. And you can do that in any market. So you can do that in Georgia, New York, and yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess it's going to pay to whoever sat and watched the live for 2 hours.
Hey, I guess my question is in regards to that method. If I choose to do that method, let's say it's been listed for more than 60 days. Seller finance is what they're after. But I mean, obviously there's a reason, because there's so many of us that's doing seller finance now. There has to be a reason that it's still listed. Because I mean, I've seen listings where they say seller finance asterisk asterisk asterisk, like that's what they want, but I don't know what should be done to kind of, are we supposed to just do something to stand out more at that point?
To be honest,
that's a negotiating skill.
yeah. To be honest, you can only. I came to the realization I need to stop assuming, because there was one time I called the realtor. I was like, yeah, you know, it has been on market for a while, and y'all open to seller finance. You would think this would sell by now, and then she was like,
Right.
actually, no, I haven't got no offers on it. So yeah, you just need to stop assuming. To be honest, like
Okay, okay.
when you assume somebody's situation, it can be like completely different. I was shocked too. So yeah.
And
I
then
got
the
you.
other thing with that too is that when you guys are searching, doing these keyword searches, a lot of times, especially if they've been called before, if it's been listed for a while, I know Darren, you had that unique one where they never got an offer at all. But a lot of times it's still on market because the terms they're asking for, a wholesaler can't do anything with it.
Mhm.
And that's a negotiating skill. That's where, if you guys don't watch any of my videos or anything like that, go to the cheat sheet channel and read it like 50 times, because anything that you guys would need when it comes to explaining why, how to explain that you're a wholesaler, how to explain when they say this, you say that, it's in the cheat sheet. If they say, why in the hell is your monthly payment so low? I can get more than that from rent. Well, here's why. It's in the cheat sheet. Okay, well, I need your POF and I need all the information for your buyer. Well, I can't give you that. I signed an NDA. You wouldn't know to say that if you didn't check the cheat sheet. It's in the cheat sheet. If you want to up your game talking to people or talking to real estate agents or sellers and answering their questions, use a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And that'll teach you how to negotiate with people. So when you do call someone that says, oh, yeah, I'm open to seller financing, I want 25% down and 10% interest. Well, the reason why they want that is because they haven't considered the fact that an investor may buy it. Because it's on market, the only thing they're thinking about is that someone who's going to live there is going to buy it. But if you explain to them, hey, that's all fine and good, I wish I can give you that, but I can't give you that because, and then you go into the why 0%, talking about your investor, talking about how they need to cash flow. The only way they're going to be interested, they can cash flow. They'll take care of everything. We'll cover all the closing costs. You have to be able to negotiate those things. You won't know what to say unless you check the cheat sheet. That's my point. Then you can tackle things.
Thank you, Sean, because you taught me how to that I gotta attack the pain points too. So even if, like, going back to what Amber said, it's been on market for 60 days in the open and seller finance. That's a pain point you can target. If it's seller finance and it's 60 days, like, come on, man, we need to have some type of wiggle room so we can both profit off of this sale.
One of the most powerful questions you can ask when you're negotiating or even just trying to get someone to do something that they may not want to do or may not be open to doing is why. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I see this property on 123 Main Street, and I was going to put an offer on it, but I want to call you first because, you know, I see that it needs a little bit of work, but it's gorgeous. The area is nice. What am I missing? Why is it still on the market? Can you, like, is there bodies in the basement or something? Like, what's going on? That's what you say. You just make it real.
I can't use that bodies in the basement. I got hung up.
Did you really? Someone hung up on you?
She hung up on me. She was like, "What?" And then hung up on me. I was like, "Ah, damn."
Oh, so shit. She had bodies in the basement. That was that sister right there. So how do you know? You might want to lock your door, dude.
Yeah, but there's also, like, you'll find it. I've seen a lot with, not all of them want 20% down. Some of them, I saw one with 7% down, no interest. It's just the realtor. Yeah, the realtor. It was in Arizona, so if y'all find it, you know. Hey, but the realtor, his name is Nate. He never got back to me. He ghosted me. So, yeah.
And that actually is a good point, Amber, for what you were talking about earlier. Sometimes, even when you're giving people exactly what they're asking for, they still may ghost you. It's not you. It's just, that's how some people are. That's how humans are. You guys are like that.
But some realtors move so goddamn slow.
I've watched several different. I mean, all I do is, like, I don't really do TV. I've been doing real estate long enough, and I always watch videos to learn from other people. And I've seen like a lot of videos where people are they just talk normal. To me, I feel like it's super freaking bland. I would be drowsy on the phone talking to them, but for some reason they're always talking about, oh yeah, got a new deal, got a new clothes, and I'm just like, bro, what? WTF?
But do you know why That's
You need to
because
start comparing.
it's just a conversation. You, for some reason, and I think it's just an American thing. I really think it is. But in America, when someone's overly polite to you, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? What the hell do you want?
Yeah, they want to sell something.
Your guard is up. But if I talk to you like the way I just naturally talk, do you ever think anyone that I talk to feels like they're being sold, even though they absolutely are? No, because I'm not doing customer service voice. I'm not gonna do anything to over. I tell people all the time, and it's a little subtle subconscious thing. But when I tell people talk about wasting time, I use me first. Hey, I'm gonna take a look at the numbers, and if I can make it work, great. But if I can't make it work with these terms, I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours. That is subconsciously telling you I'm putting me first.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people don't like when I talk to real estate agents or sellers off market, I got to help my team close a deal or something. I don't get asked for a proof of funds. I don't. It never even pops in their mind. When I'm talking on the phone to someone about a property, even if it's a real estate agent, I'm on the phone for 30 minutes. 5 of those minutes, I'm talking about the house of the deal. The rest, I'm building rapport. I'm getting them to get their guard down. I'm just having conversation. I'm just talking. And as you guys can tell from this training, I like talking. It's just a conversation. But if you do too much, it makes the wall go, even subconsciously, your lizard brain goes up. Oh, this person's being way too polite. What do they want? And then the guard
I
goes up.
gotta find a balance then, because I'm naturally like a bubbly person unless I'm just really freaking tired. But I don't know if it's because I've done sales almost my whole life, or management, whatever. But this is how I freaking talk, man.
Do you
I'm a very
match their
animated
tone?
person.
But wait a minute. Do you say that? Do you talk like that, like you're talking now?
I think so.
Are you should, okay. You want to do an exercise?
Okay, wait, yeah, let's run through it. Go ahead.
The next time, no, it's not right now. The next
Oh.
time you're going to call a real estate agent, put your phone on record and record yourself.
Oh, yes, that's a
And
good
then
Got you.
and then when you're done, I want you to record yourself visually. Use your video on your phone, and I
Mhm.
want you to record yourself visually, and then I want you to watch it back, mute the phone, and then watch it. Then I want you to watch it again, unmute the
Mhm.
phone, and then put it down and don't look at it and just listen,
Mhm.
and then critique how you sound, and then go from there.
Okay.
You'll hear it. Whatever your brain will immediately pick up, like, damn, I said that. You won't even realize it. Or like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done it like that. Or maybe you're like, damn, that was great. I'm going to say it just like that every time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That because you can't manage what you can't measure. And this is the first step in measuring how you sound on the phone. Record yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. And don't think you can please everybody. Like some people you just can't please. Like if I get on a phone with a real estate agent and they're all monotone and I can tell like they don't want to be on the phone, I usually
Mhm.
say like I usually like let it be known, be like, hey, I don't want to waste your time. It seems like you don't want to be on the phone right now, but and then I get to my main points and then leave it up to them. So I guess it's all about just matching people's energy. I think I'm pretty
Okay.
good at that.
And for
Okay.
anyone who's not good at that, in the Discord under Sean's deep dives, there's a video, a couple of recordings on how to do that, how to have conversations with people, little things to do, matching energies, matching tone, all that stuff. It's all in there. You guys got to watch the navigational video.
You got to watch the videos.
Got to watch that navigate. It tells you where everything is. I had
I
somebody
know.
the other
I
day,
know you
where's
see
the
my
contract?
thumbs up all the time. Whether it's YouTube or I'm always watching your stuff, man. But like I said, I have to also kind of make it my own, and I feel like that's where I really need to find a balance. And I mean, even now, like a regular conversation, bro, I mean, unless I'm like, bro, it's where it's not as professional, but this is how I pretty much talk. I mean, I can understand how it may be like overbearing for some folk, but I don't know how to. It's either this or a stone wall.
Well, I'll tell you what. First step, let's record what you sound like. And then if you're comfortable, send me the recording.
Okay.
And then I'll help you. We'll go from, I mean, like it's all here. Put it this way. There are people that I have helped before that have some like a really. I have one guy, Casper, awesome dude. Never met someone with a more positive attitude ever.
Mhm.
And he's from Denmark. His accent
Ooh.
was so thick. I said, you're not going to be able to wholesale to off market properties, because the moment any American hears your accent, they're going to assume it's a scam and they're going to hang up. I said, if
Mhm.
you want to do this, you're going to have to deal with agents directly, or you're going to have to get a mouthpiece, like a closer, to close for you that doesn't have such a heavy accent. And he said, oh no, I'll take care of it. And he is now closing deals with real estate agents. He doesn't even need my help anymore. Because
Ooh,
once
okay.
people got past his accent and understood what he was saying and could actually hear him,
Mhm.
he sounds polished, professional, like he's been doing this for years, even though he's only been doing it for like 6 months. So he just had to find his spiel. That's it.
Don't hide behind the phone. Get on. I mean, yeah, don't hide behind the screen. Actually, get on the phone with these people, and you're gonna learn how to, like, you're gonna be asked every single question. So now it's nothing new. You know how to respond to it. You've been in that situation before.
Yeah, once
I
you
don't
guys
think.
do that, you just turn it on. You'll be able to, it'll just be on all the time. Get on the phone. I know
Yeah.
emails are easy. I know text messages are easy.
So
Everybody's doing that. Get on the phone. Stand out.
Hey, Sean, real fast. Sorry, I was getting ready to call um, Esther for the seller finance deal. I just
Oh,
want a
yeah.
clarification. The inputs page is like I'm going to build out the terms and how I'm going to describe it to her. The information on the inputs page is kind of what I relate to her, and then what's on the seller finance page is kind of like the buyer side.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful way to put that. So, for those of you that don't know, when you're talking to the real estate agent or the seller, these are their numbers. Now, granted, they don't need to know this information. That doesn't matter. And they don't need to know your assignment fee. But from purchase price to down payment, that's the seller information. That's what they're getting. That's what they need to know. Once you're on the tabs, this is what it looks like once the buyer buys it.
And the back on the inputs page, the difference between the purchase price and the seller finance amount is the down payment.
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Just making sure I'm having all the numbers right before I call.
Hell yeah, you got it, bro. DM
Thank
me and
you.
let me know how it goes.
All right, will do. Thank you.
No problem. Does anybody else have any questions or insights? Because this one's been a little interesting. I'm gonna have Darren run the trainings from now on. I'm gonna take a day off.
no.
Come on, man, you can do it.
How do appraisals like I'm pretty sure I think I already asked this question before, but like when it comes to appraisals, right? How does that even work? Like I don't understand if how are they gonna predict what it's gonna be in the future?
I
Do
don't
they just look
understand.
at past
Okay,
months?
all right. Let me
Yeah.
explain how appraisals work as far as in the market, because I know it's like it's kind of out of the scope of what we do, but if it has to do with real estate, you should know how to do it anyway. So the way that it works is, let's say I'm going to sell the house that I'm living in, and I live in 90210. That's my zip code, right? That's where I live. And I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to have an appraiser come and tell me what my house is worth. Now, the appraiser is going to come to my house. He's going to look at everything, make sure nothing's broken, take pictures and stuff, make sure there's no safety issues. That's only half. The other half is the appraiser is going to go back to their office. They're going to pull up the computer and they're going to basically comp the property exactly like we do. They're going to see what has sold within a certain radius of the subject property that they're doing the appraisal for, and then they're going to compare the notes from that appraisal to the notes of their property's appraisal, and then based off that, they're going to determine how much the house that they just did the appraisal for is worth. So essentially, an appraiser is just comping the property and then basing it off of the actual condition of the property in comparison to what else is sold in the area. Now, an appraisal has I believe, a much shorter radius than what we do. I think for an appraiser, I think it's in either a couple blocks or it has to be in the same neighborhood. So there's no half a mile, or any of that going out. It's like same neighborhood or within a couple blocks.
Yeah.
Also, it has to be apples to apples comparison, meaning if the subject property is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, then the comps that the appraiser used has to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Has to be within the same square footage, plus or minus, I think it's like 10%. Has to be the same style, and everything has to be very, very exact and precise. Here's the caveat to that. So let's say I get an appraiser, they appraise my property for $500,000, right? It's 90210. It's $500,000. And they say, okay, based off of the condition of your house, the size, and these other properties that sold recently that are your neighbors, your house is worth $500,000, right? So I say, okay, but I'm, stink meter. I'm going to be an asshole for no reason. So I list and sell my house for $200,000. That means that the next time someone in my neighborhood goes to get an appraisal done, my $200,000 is going to drop the value for everybody else. Because now, instead of having, okay, this house sold for $490, this house sold for $510, this house sold for $505, your house is worth $500. Now it's going to be, this house sold for $505, this house sold for $490, this house sold for $200. Okay, so now if we average that together, your house is only worth $380,000. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, I didn't know that part, because the reason why I asked that question is because I currently got, title is open and we're waiting for the appraisal to come back in. But I'm kind of wondering if the real estate agent kind of already does that job. They comp it out and see what am I going to list it for. So
when they order a CMA, yes.
Yeah. So why, because I know I was talking to Brandon about this. One of his deals got appraised for such low than what it was listed for. So I'm confused. There's no way the appraiser going to come back and it's not what it's listed for, just a little bit lower or higher. I don't understand how.
No, it's entirely possible that that'll happen. Yeah, that happens all the time, like way more than should be cool. And the reason being, and look, just as much as I will always concede that there are shitty wholesalers. Sorry, Mom. There are also shitty real estate agents. There's shitty doctors, shitty cops, shitty firemen, shitty nurses, shitty teachers. Every profession has a shitty section. A shitty real estate agent will tell a seller, oh yeah, I can list your property and get you $300,000, no problem, knowing damn well that thing is worth $250 max. But they want to get it under contract. And here's how it goes. They tell the seller, oh yeah, I can sell your house for $300,000, no problem. Then it's on market for 2 weeks, no offers, no walkthroughs. So then that same real estate agent goes to the seller and says, okay, why don't we do like a $5,000 price reduction? And then another 2 weeks. Well, let's try a $10,000. Let's do big. Let's do double. Let's do $10,000 this time. And then another 2 weeks, and so on and so forth, until either the listing expires because the sellers are angry, or they get an offer for the property or drop the price to what it should have been in the first place. That's how that happens. It happens that way because a lot of people, much like you, they don't realize that a real estate agent, they're going to do a CMA, but they're not appraisers. They're not contractors. Like, you can tell if a floor joist is jacked up, if it's super jacked up, and you're like, yeah, there's clearly something wrong there. But if you're not a contractor, a floor joist can be messed up and you don't know. So you're just going to say it's good. But once the appraiser goes in there, who is trained, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that floor joist is jacked. Check. And then now the value's dropped. So it can happen as as a mistake, as an oversight, and it can happen intentionally. But yeah, that happens a lot. It'll happen a lot of times where property will be listed because a real estate agent or seller, same thing. Seller thinks that their house is worth way more than it's actually worth. And someone says, sure, I'll buy it. And then they order the appraisal, and the appraiser goes out there and they says, yeah, this property is only worth, this. And then here comes the seller arguing with the appraiser every single time. And it's never going to change. The appraisers, this is what they're trained to do. They do it. Are there shitty appraisers? Absolutely there are. But most of them, just like with anybody shitty, there's not a lot of them. They're just the loudest.
Hopefully that's not the case.
Well, which deal is about to go to appraisal? This isn't Japonica, right?
No, Japonica is closed. I'm talking about it's the Morby method one.
Oh, that's right. You got that other. Oh, that's right. You show off. Yeah, it's gonna have to. I mean, how long was it on market?
So actually, it was on market. I think for well, in total, it was 150 days. I only saw 60, but since the buyer, he was a real estate agent in Houston.
Dropped it and then relisted
Yeah.
it to reset the clock.
So he saw that it was listed for actually 150 days. So hopefully, it's not that type of situation. But I don't think he would sign papers and send up to title if he knew or wasn't like confident that the appraisal
Well,
was gonna come
again,
back.
if the seller is not a contractor, I mean, how many times have you guys watched something like what's the name of that damn show in Vegas? Pawn Stars, where someone will come in there with something that's worth $20, but because it means something to them, they want $100 for it. Unless you know, you're just guessing. So again, either intentionally or by mistake, someone can absolutely list their property for way more than it's worth, and then the appraisal shows otherwise. It's possible. Like a lot.
That would piss me off if that's the case.
I understand where you're coming from with that. Just keep in mind that's nobody's fault, not really, unless you know for sure. It's nobody's fault. And again, just like the seller, just like the real estate agent, you're not an appraiser. You're not a contractor. It's not like you can look at it and be like, oh, there's no way that house is worth that much. You don't know. That's what appraisers, that's their job. That's what they're for. We guess, the sellers guess, the real estate agents guess, and the appraisers confirm. That's their job. So it's okay to be upset, but not for too long. Just move on to another deal.
Yeah, of course. But like when
I
it
get
comes
it.
this far, dealing with the realtor was a dickhead. I'm sorry, but he was no, she was just so much. He had to re-sign the contract like 3 or 4 times. It was a lot.
Well, hopefully that the deal goes through. And you know what? If the guy's buying it on the Morby method, assuming the appraiser is, let's say they are low, if they're close, that should be a simple renegotiation. Like, hey, I would have given it to you if it was worth it. It's not. It's only worth this. If we can drop the price to this, we can still move forward. And a lot of times, if you're dealing with a reasonable seller or even doesn't sound like it, but a reasonable real estate agent, then no one's going to ask you to pay more than what it's worth. No one's going to hand you a dollar bill and charge you $5. Not anyone rational. They're going to completely understand, like, no, man, I'm not, like, I'll give you $1.25 because I'm nice, but I'm not giving you that much more than what it's worth. You know what I mean? It's either that or you're going to have a seller and a real estate agent who's going to argue with the appraiser. It's going to be one or the other.
That was the real estate agent where, she sent me the contract and I was on this meeting and I read through it and I was like, huh? Because like terms were not making
they
sense.
tried to sneak in all those shitty terms. Yeah. Well,
And also she wanted like 3,000 on top of her commission just for writing up the contract. I was like, wait, what? And so we all three of us, the buyer and me and her, got on the phone and the buyer would just let her have it. And then we got it signed. But yeah.
I like to see people win, but I also like some John Wick shit. Like, no, you did that. You deserve that. I want to watch it. So I wish you recorded that call because I would have loved to hear it.
I did.
Oh, God, dude, you got to send that to me. I want to hear it.
I got to find it in my downloads. I did.
Yeah.
Record. I was laughing. I was on mute.
Email me that. That'll make my week. I appreciate it. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Because I could talk about wholesaling all day. All right, cool. Then I'm going to let you guys go. Like I said, these other recordings will be up later on today. This recording will be up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. If you guys need anything else, I will be in the Discord until usually like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then you guys can just DM me any questions you have. I'll be here to help you out. You guys have a great night. I'll talk to you later.